White House officials say today that the president still has not made any final decisions on his foreign policy team, but he certainly went out of his way at a cabinet meeting yesterday to give a shout out to Susan Rice.
Susan Rice is extraordinary. Couldn't be prouder of the job that she's done at USUN.
Delaware Senator Chris Coons is a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, which will have to decide who's going to be our next Secretary of State, and joins me now from Capitol Hill. Senator, thank you very much. What do you think of the criticism among some of your Republican colleagues of Susan Rice for her comments after Benghazi? Do you think that that is sufficient to prevent her from being nominated and confirmed?
Well, Andrea, that'll be a matter that we have to take up in the Senate and see. I think the president, who has not yet nominated a candidate to be the next Secretary of State, is entitled to his own nominee if they are qualified. And Susan Rice is certainly more than qualified. She has led admirably. She's represented us at the United Nations during a very difficult period when she has worked tirelessly and effectively to assemble an international coalition to impose new sanctions against Iran, to lead the referendum process that created a new nation in South Sudan. She's been an effective advocate for the people of the United States in the United Nations for several years now, and I think if she is nominated, she deserves a full and fair hearing. And I don't think the fact that she went on some Sunday morning talk shows and repeated talking points that were given to her by the intelligence community should stand in the way of her confirmation in the U.S. Senate.
Senator, is the real issue here security for our missions overseas?
If that were the real issue, then the fact that there is an ongoing investigation looking at security of our missions overseas would be the principal focus, rather than individual character assassination, I think baseless attacks on Susan Rice and her conduct. As best I can tell from everything I've seen and heard, she was simply repeating talking points that had been prepared for her by the intelligence community. There are things that we should be looking at in terms of making sure we have the resources, the personnel, and the budget to provide for security at U.S. embassies and consulates. But there's lots and lots of countries around the world where security is a real issue, from the Democratic Republic of the Congo to Egypt, from Libya to Syria. There's lots of countries in real conflict now. So at a time of tightening budgets, I do think, Andrea, that's a worthy question. Are we doing enough to keep our diplomats safe?